And right now, we are 2 minutes away from the end of the trading day. Romaine Bostick here with Katie Greifeld, taking you through to that closing bell. It's a global simulcast. Massar and Tim Stenovec join us. Welcome to our audiences across all of our Bloomberg platforms, television, radio, our partnership with YouTube here on a day where Masser's hair is looking fabulous. What happened?
Great.
There?
Too
wow.
big.
I just couldn't.
I
could not look away. It's like a lion's mane there.
You are great.
Oh.
Okay, let's move right along. We've got stocks off their lows of the session, guys. Kind of little movement, but we're seeing tech stocks for the most part. We've been talking about semiconductors all day.
Your hair looks good too, Tim.
Tim's hair always looks good.
No, it does. I'm just waiting for.
What was that?
For maybe radio to complement TV. But
it's called a pregnant pause.
I'm busy looking at the SOX, which is the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index.
Oh, right, for sure.
Off its lows, but it was down as much as 6.8%. As Carol points out, this was up bigly, has been up bigly.
For sure.
I think is what she said.
Bigly?
Yeah.
Did I say bigly?
No.
You said
but
bigly.
Anyway,
giving back
now
a little bit.
It's down a lot, but less down than perhaps it was earlier.
3% down.
I hear what you're saying. It's interesting. You're seeing this sort of reversal when it comes to stocks. You're not seeing it in the bond market today when you take a look across the curve. Probably not helped by the fact that we did have a sale of 10-year notes, and it was a little weak. You saw some weaker demand than maybe some people wanted to see.
Yeah, right now, 4 and change. Right now, 4.46 on your 10-year yield. Remember, Jim Caron kicked us off to the close about an hour ago, saying he's looking more around that 4.75 level as a potential pain point. Your 30-year yield up about 5% as well. We get the closing bells here in New York, and this is one of those days where you kind of have to say, well, it could have been a lot worse. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up about 56 points after being down by about 1% on the day. It's going to close higher by about 0.1%. The S&P 500, which was also down about 1% on the day, only lower by 0.2%. The Nasdaq only lower by 0.7%. And the Russell 2000 is going to close lower, down by about 1% on the day after being down closer to 2% earlier in the session.
All right, that's the small caps. Back to the large caps I go. S&P 500, guys, almost an even split. Katie, you got 259 names gaining ground on this Tuesday, 243 to the downside, 1 unchanged.
Well, let's take a look at the sector breakdown as well. An interesting makeup there. You can see that when it comes to losers, tech is your big red slice there, down about 1% as a sector. Consumer discretionary as well. Industrials, materials also falling. When it comes to what was really trying to push this market into the green coming into the close, healthcare higher by 1.9% as a sector. You also saw consumer staples and financials rallying as well.
Thank you, healthcare, right? Oh,
yeah.
This comes to our aid. Let's go to some of the individual gainers in today's session. I felt like, for the most part, there were names that I'm never talking about, but let's just go there. Zebra Technologies, number one gainer in the S&P 500, up about 11.5%. You know, barcode scanners, printers, interactive kiosks, $11.8 billion market cap, if you're not familiar. It's a consumer electronics company, as I mentioned. Reported first quarter results that beat expectations, and it raised its full year forecast for both adjusted earnings and free cash flow. Just a quick check on what the stock's doing year to date. It's just down fractionally, so not a big mover, at least for the year overall. Here's another one. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly. Ambic Micro, ticker AMBQ. This one up 45%, pretty much finishing at its highs of the session, closing at a record. It's an ultra-low power semiconductor solutions provider. It reported better than expected results for the first quarter, provided second quarter guidance that also topped expectations. So investors were pretty keen on this. It's about a $1.4 billion market cap company. It is up, folks, 130% year to date. And then here are two names that you or many people are familiar with, and we're talking about Philip Morris and Altria. These names both gaining in today's session, 2.6% higher for Philip Morris, about 1.9% for Altria. Shares are up for a second day as analysts weigh in on a Friday afternoon update from the FDA in which the agency provided enforcement policies with regard to the marketing of certain electronic nicotine delivery system products and nicotine pouch products that do not have pre-market authorization. So some enthusiasm for that one. Over to you.
Okay, well, let's talk about some stocks in the red. I want to talk about the SOX. It fell today by 3%, was down more than 6% earlier in the session. so many companies in the stocks were lower and so many chip companies were lower, and just in the AI space and AI adjacent space, that I just had to go with the entire index here. Power equipment companies fell, memory chip companies fell, semiconductor companies fell. Little cooling of the AI rally that we've seen. Many chip stocks have been scaling to new all-time highs in recent days. The sector's been boosted by investor enthusiasm over AI infrastructure build-outs. Big names that fell today: Qualcomm down, Micron down, Intel down, AMD fell as well, in addition to many others. I want to go over to Brown-Forman, the parent company of Jack Daniels. The Wall Street Journal reporting just in the last half hour of trading that Brown-Forman has rejected a $15 billion takeover offer from Sazerac. Sazerac, the company behind Sazerac, and also Buzzballs. You guys know about these?
What are you talking
Buzzballs?
about?
Romaine, I know you're a fan of Buzzballs.
I used to be a fan of Sazerac before they changed everything up.
Katie, do you know Buzzballs?
I know what Buzzballs are. Don't worry.
That was after my time, Tim.
All right, good. I'm told these are popular with like Gen Z.
The youth.
Yeah, the youth. Well, too bad we don't have a picture of
Now,
them.
what are these? Is it like nutcrackers? What are these?
They kind of are. Yeah, that's like, now you're speaking my language, Romaine, because that's my era. But yeah, they're kind of like flavored, circular dome, like, spherical alcohol-filled containers that are popular at parties. They say like take the party to go with these. So anyway, Brown-Forman shares down about 1%. Carol's Googling Buzzballs right now.
How many shots is a Buzzball equal to?
Finally, I'll let you look that up while I look at shares of Under Armour, which were under pressure today. Shares falling today by 17%. They were down all day today. The company sank after guidance for this year missed Wall Street projections. It was weighed down by that partnership with Steph Curry winding up, taking a financial hit too, over the conflict, Romaine, in the Middle East. In the midst of a turnaround, but as investors showed today, there's still a ways to go. Shares down 17%.
Let's take a quick look at yields, because for a second straight day, we did see them higher pretty much across the curve. A lot of activity in the middle with the benchmark 10-year yield now camped out right around 4.46%. That's the highest that we've seen since at least fall of last year here. And your 30-year yield now firmly above that 5% mark.
Can two Buzzballs get you drunk? Yes.
Definitely.
They can get most people drunk.
Especially if you do it back to back,
They're kind of
it's
cute and
efficient.
charming.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why they're dangerous.
All right. Well, moving
Carol's
on.
planning her next Friday.
Red wine only. Hey, interesting story that might bum out some students over at Harvard. Apparently, the faculty at Harvard University are voting on a proposal to limit A grades in undergrad courses to no more than 20% of the class plus 4 additional students. It's aiming to address what is known as grade inflation.
Yeah, critics say grade inflation makes it tougher for employers and grad schools to evaluate students. About 60% of grades are A in the academic year ending in mid-2025.
Okay. So
But they go to Harvard, so shouldn't everybody get A's anyway, or should it be they should be graded on a curve?
Yeah, well, that's what they're going to do, right? So
Well,
a curve, and you bring it down, and what?
Maybe just for
What's
the
issue?
top.
Okay. I mean, does anyone
What
really-
happens if everybody just gets an A and does really well? It's a great teacher. Everybody studied.
not how curves
Everybody's
work.
smart.
No,
Yeah,
you need to
Massar.
you need to be pitted
I
against.
I
you
see
need to be
someone, I
pitted
see
against
someone
one
got a C in
another. You need to be
statistics
pitted against one another.
I understand how curves work. I'm just
and
saying.
geometry.
I'm with you, Carol,
like-
for what it's worth. It's hard enough to get into Harvard. Just give them good grades. Why not?
Not to brag, but, I
But-
did
Yes.
pretty well in
But I will.
But
But please go ahead. What do you guys got?
Well, let's talk a little bit about New York City, because this certainly was well read on the Bloomberg terminal, and that is New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani has dropped his plan to raise property taxes to help close that 2-year deficit. But when it comes to that pied-à-terre tax, that's still in play. But still, obviously this received a lot of pushback. There was a lot of skepticism about getting this across the line, but it was also a negotiating tactic too on his part.
All right. So part of the property tax hike is gone. Some of the others still there. Mm-hmm. How's Bess Friedman doing? Because she was on our program yesterday.
She was.
She made a very passionate plea against that pied-à-terre tax in terms of the potential impact on the economy here in New York City.
But also the point that she made about it being challenging to actually implement because of assessments.
Yeah, have you actually tried to follow the condo? I mean, forget the co-op assessments, but the condo assessments in this city?
None of them
insane.
make any sense.
Yeah, it's literally.
If you look at the price
I feel like
of
they were
sale
written
versus
by like
what the
boss
city
tweeds,
assesses
like
and what
after,
one is
too many
taxed.
buzzballs or something.